And on today's unbiased hard take, sort of,
Short take.
sort of, short take, hard take, sort of a podcast. We'll call it a mini podcast. How about that? Me and JB are back together this week. We're going to put this one on Spotify. We'll make sure that way the Spotify people get their love too. So with that, JB, we have more NFL predictions. And with that, you have caught up, my friend, because of this week, pending Monday Night Football, obviously, I was 6-7 and JB 9-4 for a total of me 37-27 and JB here. No, excuse me, Chandler, me, pending Monday Night Football 43-34, JB 41-36. So, with that, also keep up with our fantasy football. Link to that on our Facebook page down below. We do weekly updates on that. And I did change my name. That is to be noted. I am now X going to take it from you because he is Defensive Player of the Year material right now. We'll get into that later. But with that, JB, you've caught up. I still have a 2-game lead on you, my friend. Before we get into that, the bye weeks this week are this coming week will be the Kansas City Chiefs, LA Rams, Miami Dolphins, and the Minnesota Vikings. So with that, JB, we're going to start with Thursday Night Football, my friend. So who do you have? A good matchup, two desperate teams this week. The San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm probably going to say Seattle. And here's why. Seattle, they're an on and off team. And right now, I think with Debo and still being out, I do believe, and Chris McCaffrey also still being out, there's really not too many weapons for San Francisco, and they're on a downhill slope right now. And I think they did lose this week, but when this comes out, it'll probably be last week, to the Washington Commanders, if I do believe so, right?
No, the Commanders beat the Browns, my friend.
I'm sorry.
The Giants.
I'm sorry. The Browns.
No, the Giants beat the Seattle Seahawks this week, JB.
Yep. And who played?
Arizona beat San Francisco,
Yep,
which you actually had that one correct.
And like I said, they're on a downhill slope. So I am going to pick Seattle Seahawks on this one.
And you know, this one's hard because both teams are struggling. Seattle started out a couple games hot, but then they just lost to the putrid Giants. And Daniel Jones actually looked halfway decent against them. And San Francisco is battling injuries. What's their wide receiver room going to look like? I mean, Christian McCaffrey's still on IR right now, so I'm going to take San Francisco here very lightly, I think, because Seattle, they have a new coach. I think it's going to be a little harder for them. Kyle Shanahan's been here before. He's been to a few Super Bowls. So I think they'll be able to piece it back together more than Seattle can in the exact moment, so give me San Francisco. Moving on, JB, to more international football, which I'm not complaining. It's 9:30 a.m. football, so I'm all for that. So with that, JB, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, yes, another international game for them, typical. At the Chicago Bears. I say at lightly because this is overseas, JB.
I'm going to pick Jacksonville, and I said this on Twitter, X, or whatever we all want to call it. I commented on one of the NFL's posts that they're praising Caleb Williams, and I'll say this: he was facing Carolina, one of the worst defenses in the league, and in the game before they played the Colts. Also, probably top 5 of the worst defense in the league, to my knowledge, and what the numbers say so. Even though we did beat my Steelers, but I'll still say that they paid the refs. They held T.J. Watt all day and did not make a call. But that's to be determined. Same thing with the Cowboys game, but I ain't too afraid of that. But I'm going to pick Jacksonville, just for the fact that they played really good football against the Colts last week. So, and I think, and Jacksonville has a pretty good defense, and I don't know how. I think Caleb Williams is going to play horrible against. He plays horrible against really good defenses. So, and he does outstanding with great defenses. So I'm picking Jacksonville.
You know, It's going to pain me to say this, but I want the DoorDash, and I'm a very unbiased man. I firmly believe this. I said this in my Packers recap on the win against the Rams on my short. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Mm-hmm. But I think the NFC North, my friend, might dang well be the best division in football. It's the only division right now with all teams, not just 500, winning records. And the Bears, I hate to say it, they look good. I mean, I know it's just against the Panthers, and I agree with that. You nailed that on the point last week. But I do think Jacksonville struggled to finish games. They could very well be 4-1 here. They have a photo bomber in the background if you don't see. So, but looking here, I mean, Caleb Williams did look good. I know it's against the Panthers, but the Panthers did beat the Raiders. So that is to be noted. So the Panthers did manage a win.
It'll be their only game that they will win, by the way.
And mind you, Jacksonville was the last team to win a game. So they have a problem finishing games here. I think Chicago's going to get this one. I think we're the best division in football, unfortunately. That's ultimately good for the Packers-Bears rivalry to see it a little more competitive, but I still hate the Bears. But give me Chicago here. And you know, JB, here's one we might actually have to sit and think about. The Washington Commanders, JB, at the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, we might be taking a lot more command here. Number one in their division, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Washington is was very surprising to me. Starting this week, they're becoming a really good football team. With Jaden Daniels as their quarterback, I'm probably going to say he's probably going to be the offensive rookie of the year. He's a really strong candidate right now, and I don't think there's any other candidate is actually good enough what Jaden Daniels is actually doing right now. But Baltimore Ravens, they're on a tear right now. Their offense is finally cooking. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry's actually finally doing their thing. Derrick Henry's kind of looking like his old self now, which I'll eat my words on that. But for the past few years, he really wasn't showing it. But I think it was just wasn't on a good offensive scheme. And now since in Baltimore, he's actually finding the momentum now and actually finding what they are capable of. So, but I do believe I'm going to pick the Ravens on this one, just for the fact that the Baltimore Ravens are a lot better on defense than what the Commanders are. But their offense is really, really scary. The Washington Commanders offense is actually really scary. I'm not gonna lie. They're a force to be reckoned with. But I think Baltimore Ravens is on a huge, massive tear right now. So give me Baltimore.
And you know, no, we don't live in the hood. I promise. I don't know. Anyway, you know, I'm tempted to take command here, but I mean, yes, Jaden Daniels looks outstanding. Washington's 4-1, but I think they hit reality this week. They're just playing a team last year that was minutes from the Super Bowl. They're playing a team with a head coach who's won a Super Bowl, who's been there before, two-time MVP Lamar Jackson, who absolutely he balled out against Cincinnati. That throw he made on the sideline, kind of to the end zone for that touchdown, that was insane. And they were able to pull out a game that they probably shouldn't have won. Cincinnati had them deadbeat, and then Joe Burrow threw that interception. So give me Baltimore here. They've just been there before. So yeah. Then, JB, my favorite time of week, my friend, we have the Arizona Cardinals, sneaky team, at the Green Bay Packers. Both teams coming off a win.
Ooh, this one's going to be pretty tough. The Cardinals, their offense is actually looking really good now. Him and Michael Irvin Jr. is actually on a huge tear.
Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, I said Marvin Harrison.
I thought you said Michael Irvin. My bad.
No, I said Marvin Harrison. I don't think I did. I don't know. But yeah, they're both they're the duo. If they get a good defense behind them, they're going to be monstrous. People on the field, even though Kyler Murray had like a 46-yard touchdown against the Cleveland Browns. I do believe so, right?
Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
No, they played San Francisco, my friend.
Oh, same. I keep forgetting. It's just the Browns suck this year. So, but it's the 49ers. He had a 46-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm going to pick Green Bay on this one. It's just their defense, and McKinney is on a massive. I think he's averaging like an interception a game right now at this point.
He is. He has 5. He's had one every game.
So and he's on an absolute tear. Him and that defense is actually looking really good right now. But yeah, give me Green Bay on this one.
I talked a lot about Jordan Love being the next Brett Favre. Sort of makes a lot of mistakes. A lot of good plays too. You're going to get a lot of both. He's a gunslinger, and he is. But I'm going to talk about the defense here, because the defense still didn't generate a lot of pressure. I worry slightly about Quay Walker. He struggled, and Rashawn Gary has struggled also. But our secondary they are balling, JB. Xavier McKinney, in my opinion, is a defensive player of the year. At this point, the dude has 5 interceptions in 5 games. That hasn't happened since the merger. You guys might see that tomorrow. So heads up. Xavier McKinney, best defensive back in football right now. There's really no argument. And he recovered a fumble. So he forced 2 turnovers, JB. So he's playing on a different level right now. And I expect Green Bay to force turnovers on Arizona. I think Kyler Murray he'll make some plays. He will against us, but he's also going to make some mistakes. They got down early against San Francisco. If you do that against Green Bay, you're going to lose. You don't win like that regularly in the NFL. So give me Green Bay. Then, JB, moving on to a team that disappointed us in the last week. The New England Patriots will host the Houston Texans. We both bet on New England last week, and it bit us in the butt.
Yep. I'm going to pick Houston on this one. There's not really much to say. I still think C.J. Stroud is a very elite quarterback. I mean, he is. He still is. And that defense, it has been struggling for a little bit. But I think against New England, they just got lucky, to me. But with that touchdown, I do believe that was a touchdown. Nothing touched out of bounds. His bottom of his the toe. That was clearly a touchdown. I mean, there's no question about it. I still think that the ref should be fined for bad calls like this, especially if people are betting on games left and right, and people are losing thousands and thousands of dollars on games that, I mean, clearly, I mean, it is what it is, though. But yeah, give me Houston on this one.
I agree. I mean, Houston's defense held Josh Allen for 9 for 30 for the field and forced a turnover. So I can only imagine what we're going to do against New England, who has far less weapons and a far less better roster. So I think Houston, who's my Super Bowl pick, mind you, takes this one pretty easily. And then, JB, we move on to a big game here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints still play tonight, mind you.
Whew.
So we're kind of going blind on this one.
A little bit. But it's not going to be blind for me. I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's Baker Mayfield, and that offense is on a also, I'll say they're on an absolute tear. Mike Evans getting touchdowns almost every game so far. They just had that one fluke of the game, and they've been back on track ever since. So give me Tampa Bay.
I agree, JB. And I agree because, yes, Tampa Bay lost their last game they played Thursday night to the Falcons, but they lost that game because of Kirk Cousins' late clutch drive, JB. Baker Mayfield played an outstanding game. Mike Evans looked good. The offense looked good. So, give me Tampa Bay. I just don't trust Derek Carr. I've said it many times. I will not bet on Derek Carr. Give me Baker Mayfield. Tom Brady Jr. Then, JB,
Philadelphia next.
Cleveland Browns at Philly. I mean, and you're right.
I'll say this.
You're right.
The Browns suck.
Yeah.
Yes, even though they had 12 men on the field, if you're the main person a quarterback on the offense, you're not the one that's supposed to walk off the field.
Mhm.
You're supposed to just grab one person and just push them off the field. Tell them to get off the field. But even though if they were losing by way too much, it really didn't make any sense. But to him just to walk off on the field, that is saying way too much. That you give up way too easy, and as simple as that, because your gameplay is trash. I mean, who knows? You might not have a job next season. No one wants this. No one wants you. You're probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I would take Bryce Young over Deshaun Watson at this point. And everyone is probably going to say, why? He's so good. No, he's not. Look at his stats right now. Right this season and the season before. They were trash. They were horrible. I don't think he hasn't had one game that's over 300 yards so far. He probably had 200 yards, but no 300-yard passing. And he's supposed to be an elite quarterback. Give me a break. And plus, that Cleveland defense sucks. I mean, they're absolutely terrible. With the playing against the Commanders, out of all teams, but Commanders are a fantastic team. I'm not throwing any shade on them, but they suck. The Browns completely suck this year. They're absolutely making the AFC North look like a clown show at this point. But everyone thinks the Cleveland Browns are so good. They don't have Nick Chubb. Wow, that's one person on offense. I mean, yes, Deshaun Watson has some weapons, but guess what? He's not throwing into them. So what's one person on their offense really has to deal with them winning games? There's not. Even though Nick Chubb is a really outstanding running back, but he's not playing. So I don't think one person doesn't change a thing on their offense. So give me Philadelphia.
You are absolutely right. Deshaun Watson has had 2 games this season with an 8, below 10 total QBR, JB. He's abysmal. I think his off-the-field issues are starting to get to his head. He missed that season with Houston and got suspended the year after that, so he's just not what he was. It's sad. It's sad. So, yeah, give me Philadelphia. Cleveland's putrid on offense. And then, JB, the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans, my friend.
Ooh. This is really tough because I don't know why, but the Tennessee Titans always play the Indianapolis Colts so tough.
Mm-hmm.
For what reason? I don't know. It's every year that they always play really tough.
Division. Same division, that's why.
I mean, even if it's the same division, it's really not that much. But I'm probably going to pick Indiana on this one, just for the fact that Will Levis is not that good of a team, or not good of a quarterback. Let alone he has no weapons, he has no offense. The defense is really not that good. So yeah, give me the Colts on this game.
I agree. The Colts have not been able to finish out games. They had that good comeback yesterday against Jacksonville a little bit, but they weren't able to sustain it. Joe Flacco did look good. We'll see if Richardson plays or not. And mind you, this is all without Jonathan Taylor. So give me the Colts here. I think ultimately Will Levis, who leads the league in turnovers, will ultimately make some mistakes, and the Colts will cash in on them. So yeah, give me the Colts. Then, JB, the LA Chargers at the Denver Broncos.
It's a pretty tough one. I think Denver and Seattle both have both their defense had over 100 yards on defense that had I think they both caught an interception. Both teams caught an interception. They returned it to the house with both 100 yards. So that's pretty amazing. But I'm probably going to pick the Chargers on this game. I don't think the Denver Broncos really does not have a good of a running defense as the way that everyone thinks they do. Because the Chargers they're more of a run and gun type of team than the passing type of team. But that's Jim Harbaugh football. I mean, he loves to run. It's like he did in Michigan. They ran the ball way too many times and barely passed the ball. So give me the Chargers.
I agree, JB. Yes, Denver. I've bet against in the last few weeks, and it's bit me in the butt. I'm starting to believe a little bit, but the Chargers, Harbaugh's the coach. They've been running the ball well. They've been playing good defense. They actually look decent in the trenches, and their quarterback's more experienced and better at this stage of his career. So yeah, JB, give me the Chargers here. I just don't trust Denver yet. They're too young. Then JB, moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Vegas Raiders, my friend.
Ooh, give me Pittsburgh. I don't think the Raiders aren't that good anymore. They don't have that really great offense. It's even though the Pittsburgh Steelers lost against the Dallas Cowboys, but that game was a fluke. That game-winning drive on the Dallas Cowboys, they missed so many calls, so many flags, and everyone and it's in the, you can see the replays and stuff. It's all there. But yeah, they're missing way too many calls for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I do believe the NFL does not want us to show everyone that we can succeed and win football games. So yeah, give me Pittsburgh.
I agree. Pittsburgh, they've lost a couple close games. It's nothing abysmal. I mean, and the Vegas Raiders are abysmal. Devontae Adams doesn't want to be there. They're injured all over the board. Max Crosby's injured. And the fact that they've already went back and forth between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew many times. The Raiders are just a mess. They lost the Panthers and the Broncos. So yeah, Pittsburgh gets an easy win here, I think. Speaking of abysmal, JB, the Carolina Panthers host the Atlanta Falcons.
Give me the Atlanta Falcons. There's really not much to say. They had that one good game against
the Raiders.
Against the Raiders, and they just flunked the bed ever since. And then they just faced the Bears, and I thought that was going to be a really good close game, but clearly it wasn't, because Carolina can't seem to turn over the ball properly or get the Bears or a crappy quarterback to turn over the ball. But yeah, give me Atlanta.
I agree. Sounds like I'm beginning to become an Atlanta Falcons supporter there, JB. Starting to believe in them, and I agree. I mean, it's a easy matchup here. It's a division matchup, but the Panthers are the worst team in the league. They got that one win. Every team typically does. Woo! But yeah, give me the Falcons, JB. I picked them to win the division. Then, JB, the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, give me Detroit. The Dallas Cowboys really did not look too good against the Steelers. And I'll keep saying this, even though we're losing very close games and very crunch time on game drives that led them to win. But I still believe the Steelers' defense is the best defense in the league. I don't know I didn't look at the stats of the what Dak Prescott had and their offense had. But I mean, we're holding teams less than 20 now, less than 20 points. But yeah, just give me Detroit.
I agree, JB. Detroit's my pick to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, and I think the NFC North is the best division in football. Detroit's outstanding team. Dallas will compete, I think, for a playoff spot, but Detroit's on a different level. Dallas still has a lot of question marks, so give me Detroit here, especially coming off that bye week. Then, JB, to the Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Giants.
Ooh.
Sunday Night Football, unfortunately.
I'm probably going to pick Cincinnati on this game, even though they had a really close. I think they lost last week, I do believe.
Correct. They blew that against Baltimore.
Yep. And they both teams actually looked fantastic. But it's just the fact that the Ravens were a lot better football team, and I believe that the Ravens is going to come out on top in this division, and I think the second is going to be Pittsburgh. Anyways, Cincinnati. I mean, they're facing against the New York Giants. The New York Giants can't do two good things in a row. So I think they won last week. But like I said, not two good things happening for the New York Giants. So give me Cincinnati.
I agree, JB. Cincinnati has played in a lot of close games last week, the Bengals game. So the Bengals and Chiefs game. So, I mean, Cincinnati, things could be a lot different, but your record is what your record is. I think Cincinnati wins this game. This is a good chance for them to get back on track. Joe Burrow just had his first career 5-pass touchdown game. They looked just fine. They just couldn't stop a nosebleed. So, yeah, give me Cincinnati. And then, JB, on the New York Broadway stage, the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets.
Josh Allen's been looking horrible to me in these past few games. I don't. New York Jets is also the same way. Brett Favre isn't the way he's like he was. I think he's just managing.
Aaron Rodgers.
I said Aaron Rodgers.
You said Brett Favre.
I said Aaron Rodgers. I think I did. I don't know. We're doing this again. But anyways, I think Aaron Rodgers is just trying to manage the game the best he can. There's no possible way that he'll never be in his MVP caliber ever again. He's getting too old. But yet, even though Tom Brady in his 40s led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl and won. So, I mean, anything's possible. But Aaron Rodgers isn't Tom Brady, and he's not, I would say Aaron Rodgers is not in the GOAT category like Tom Brady is, in my opinion. But I think this is the game where Josh Allen will actually come back and actually prove that he is actually a good quarterback again, even though he hasn't been looking all that well. But I'm going to pick Buffalo in this game.
As am I, JB. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still a better Jets quarterback than they've had in decades, and he's old. I mean, it's just impressive that he's playing at an average to above average level at this age, coming off that injury. I mean, I think he'll play decent, but, I mean, Buffalo almost won that game, JB, and Josh Allen against Houston, and Josh Allen went 9 for 30. So I think Buffalo gets back on track this week. And with that, JB, that is all we have, my friend, for today's miniature, unbiased hard take. JB, what do you have for the people, my friend? We're back together. Normal podcast next week, by the way.
Yep. Nothing really, other than the NFL is screwing the Steelers over. But anyways, I mean, that's normal. I mean, we're used to it at this point. They just want to see Kansas City win all these games left and right, and they're not getting called. Right tackles all starting in every single play of the game, and they're not calling it, but it's a move that they're doing, so whatever. But anyways, yeah, not really much.
I'll do all the formalities, like, subscribe, hit the bell on Facebook, Sports Facts Today, all that good stuff. Follow on Spotify. This will go on Spotify. JB will make sure of that. I'll make sure it goes on YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. So, NBA preseason's back. The Heat play their first preseason game tomorrow, so look for some coverage on that. That's really all I got. Football and basketball are both back now. So, until next week, boy, we're up. Ryan Walters. Go, Pat, go. And let's go Heat. JB?
And I'm going to end it off with, let's go Purdue. Even though our football team sucks, we still got basketball. We still got basketball and baseball and all that other good college sports games. Let's go Heat. And let's go Steelers. Here we go.
See you next week.